Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Hanson, Superintendent of the MSD of Warren Township Schools, and I'm excited to spotlight people and programs in Warren that are having a positive impact on our students, schools, and community. I'm thrilled today to be at Creston Intermediate Middle School with our Coordinator of College and Career Readiness, Laura Butgereit, as well as our counselors, Marshay Allen and Jacob Hauck. Mrs. Butgereit, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about your role as the Coordinator of College and Career Readiness.
So this is a new position for the Township, and we're very excited. There's two key components to it. First of all, we are really excited about having to promote and expand our opportunities for our students for college and career readiness from K-12. In addition, we have basically doubled our counselors in the district. So we went from about 15, 16 counselors to now 31. We have the cohort model not only at the high school, but we've now expanded that to include the 5 through 8 buildings, and now we also have 9 elementary school counselors at each elementary school in the district.
All right, and your role is new this year, correct?
Yes, it is.
Great. So you mentioned we doubled our counselors, and we added some to the elementary level. Talk to us a little bit about what does that look like at the elementary level, and what does an elementary counselor do with our K-4 students?
Absolutely. So elementary is a key time in which our young students determine how they feel about themselves, how they feel about school, and counselors provide the opportunity for support and intervention, not only in academics, but in our social and emotional learning. It also gives that opportunity for career awareness building at the elementary level, so we can start connecting them from the world of work to the world of school and what that looks like K-12.
Interesting. So you've been in counseling for a couple of years.
Just a few.
I think 20.
Right, almost here in the district,
there.
yeah.
You mentioned some words that maybe 20 years ago we didn't use: college and career readiness and social emotional learning. Can you talk to us a little bit about how counseling has changed over the last 20 years or even 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this is my 19th year in the district, and as counselors, we've always supported students academically. We've always supported students in looking at post-secondary and career options, and we've always provided social and emotional supports, but those look different now. We know that, especially in the college and career readiness realm, that students need to be prepared for a variety of jobs that didn't exist 20 years ago. We know there's many jobs that are now highly skilled, highly paid, in demand, that aren't a college degree. They're more of a career and technical education program or certification. So our focus is more on finding students to learn about themselves, their abilities, finding that match of their interests. But we also know we have to prepare them better for any career. And we're finding that that's more than just that crucial academic component, but we also need them to have those collaboration skills, that ability to think critically, to solve problems, communicate, because those skills are going to be in demand regardless of a military career, a career in technical ed, or college and onto a professional career.
That's great. I love that we have that resource for our students K-12.
Absolutely.
Yes. Ms. Allen, you've spent some time at the high school level and the intermediate level.
Correct.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the cohort model that exists here at the intermediate middle school level?
Absolutely. So I am enjoying the cohort model. One of the advantages of the cohort model is being able to stay with those students and those families over the course of 4 years. And already, just this school year alone, I've been able to develop some very strong connections and bonds that I can continue throughout the course of the next 4 years. And then ultimately, as those students go on to high school, be able to help those students and those families transition, knowing that they're going to be in good hands when they go over to our high school. So I'm very excited about that. Something else is I've been able to go into the classrooms. I've really developed an amazing relationship with our 5th grade teachers. And when I go into the classrooms, I can focus on academics, but also that social and emotional piece that our 5th graders need coming from the elementary school, and be able to help them transition to 7th and 8th grade, those middle school years. And so I'm pretty excited about that. I have a wonderful dean that I work with, and so together we've been able to really be able to build up the class of 2027, and we're looking forward to what the future holds for us.
The class of 2027. I love it. So I don't want to make you more important than the others, but you have a pretty important role right now because you're 5th grade. So
Correct.
they just transitioned from a new building
Correct.
to Creston, and then you'll have them for 4 years going forward. How do you, or how did you transition our fourth graders into fifth grade? So that'll be one transition. And then as you build them up over the next 4 years, what it's going to take to transition them from middle school to high school.
So over the summer, one of the things that I did is I reached out to several of our families. Also, when we had our, registration, I was there and I was able to meet a lot of them. And so that helped a lot of those families and students before school even started, which was amazing. And it gave me an opportunity to put names and faces together. It's a very unique position because they're scared, but they're excited. The building is bigger, the kids are bigger, the expectations are higher. So they are just scared because they don't really know what that looks like quite yet. But once they get here, they are so excited because they have more opportunities for growth. They can start to develop those friendships and start to develop more responsibility. And it's very exciting to be able to see them transition. Even though we're about halfway through the school year, just to be able to see how some of them started off at the very beginning to see where they are now, looking forward to the future to where they will be by the end of the year. So it's just really been amazing to be able to see those students be able to grow. And we have been able to start doing things a lot sooner. Mrs. Butgereit referenced college and career readiness, and already these students are being exposed to 21st century scholars, and they're learning about employability skills. And I'm so excited to be able to prepare them not only to be lifelong learners, but also to be productive citizens, not only in high school, but beyond that. So I'm excited to be a part of that.
I love it. Well, you're building a great foundation, so keep up the good work. Mr. Hauck, you are somewhat new to school counseling. Can you talk to us a little bit about your path that has led you to Creston Intermediate Middle?
Sure. Actually, I kind of stumbled into being a school counselor. I started my graduate school in 2014 at Ball State. I was going to be working in the HR field. At the same time, one of my buddies reached out to me about getting a graduate assistantship at an elementary school working for the after-school program in Muncie, Indiana. I had never worked with kids before. It was not something that I was, particularly interested in, but it was going to help pay for school. So I was like, sure, let's give this a try. To make a long story short, 4 years later, I'm still working at the after-school program. And I felt myself being pulled towards the direction of working with students as opposed to doing what I was going to school for. So had some really tough conversations with some of my mentors, my family, did lots of self-reflection, and I decided that I was going to stay in school and pursue a degree in school counseling, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to work in Warren Township, and it's been awesome since day one.
Great. You've been a great addition to our schools and supporting our families. It's interesting, your initial one was working with people as well.
Right.
Now you're just working with smaller people. Talk to us a little bit about, we have the cohort model here, as Ms. Allen mentioned,
Right.
Kind of how many students you work with, and what does that support look like for students and their families?
Sure. So we have just over 300 students in the 6th grade coming from very diverse backgrounds. As far as the things I do with them on a daily basis, every day is different, which is part of the reason why I love this job. I mean, just for example, today during lunch, I was working with kids because they had a problem that kids were looking at them at their table, and I had to talk to the other table and say, hey, maybe, we should focus on what's going on right here. And I've also had conversations, helping a student cope with the loss of a parent and pretty much everything in between there. So, there's just a large range of things that I do on a daily basis and that we all do as counselors here at Creston. As far as like specific services that I provide to the students, I've been able to provide counseling groups. So earlier this first semester, I ran 2 counseling groups designed to promote respect and self-esteem. As Ms. Allen mentioned, I've been in the classroom as well doing lessons about college and career readiness through Naviance. There's a few students that I work with on an individual basis, on a weekly basis, where we're working towards different goals, and then also the responsive services. So, for example, if a teacher reaches out to me that a student has some sort of concern, then I'm quick to respond to that student and make sure I make time for them. And students also know how to get a hold of me as well on their own, whether it be if they see me in the hallway, they see me at lunch, they let me know they need to speak, or I have a confidential counselor request form that they can fill out that's sent directly to me, so they don't have to tell anybody other than me what's going on. I think something that the counseling team here at Creston has tried really hard to do is to be visible, so that kids and teachers and just all staff in general know that we are here and we're here to be a support.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Naviance. In about 30 seconds, can you tell us a little bit about Naviance and where does that start for our students here in Warren?
So specifically speaking about my sixth graders, we have, I think even before we can think about what we want to be doing once we finish school, we need to understand how we are as learners. So the first lesson I have done so far this year, all students were able to take their own personalized learning style inventory, where they understand that they don't learn the same way as their peers, and that's okay. Everybody learns in different ways, and if they can understand the ways that they learn best, that's going to set them up for success not only here at Creston, but at high school and beyond.
I love it. Heard a lot today, but the basis of everything that I heard is about relationships. You know, the relationships that you have with our students and our families and our staff here, and I just commend you for all that you're doing for our kids. You know, they're with us for 13 years, and I can say proudly and confidently that they're in good hands. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you again for viewing the Superintendent Spotlight this month, where we highlighted our college and career readiness program here in Warren Township, specifically Creston Intermediate Middle School. I look forward to seeing you next month for our next Superintendent Spotlight. Thank you.